everybody. Welcome back to RacingDudes.com. And for the second week in a row, I should say, I'm going to go over my new top 10 for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now, like I said last week, and if you didn't watch that, and if you're kind of new to what we're doing here, Jared and I both get to vote in a media poll ranking the top 10 horses for the Breeders' Cup Classic. And so we thought we'd do videos to kind of share our top 10s and kind of where the scene is right now, kind of preview what's coming up, things like that. Just kind of get everybody talking about the Breeders' Cup Classic. Everybody likes a good poll, so I don't know if this is a good poll or not, but everybody likes a poll, and so we thought we would do that. So I'll put that up on the screen now. I'll take away my name there so you can see the top 10. And we'll kind of talk about what's changed, what hasn't. I'll start with number 10, Zandon. I mean, he's just kind of a placeholder right now till we see him. And hopefully we do see him next time out in the Jim Dandy coming up in a few weeks. So we'll see what Zandon does. Speaking of the Jim Dandy, it's been said that Epicenter, also pointing to that race, he's number 9. And again, another kind of just a placeholder just to kind of see how these 3-year-olds start to unfold as we get into the summer. Early voting is number 8 and kind of the same story there with him. Another one could be Jim Dandy, could be Haskell, maybe Train Up to the Travers. We'll find out with him. So he is not at number 8. Number 7 is new. That is Charge It. And wow, was he not impressive last weekend in the Dwyer Stakes? Now, he looks, I mean, his races around 1 turn look fantastic. His races around 2 turns haven't been great. Now, forget about the Kentucky Derby. That's a total toss. But he did get second in the Florida Derby. He was weaving in and out during the stretch. I mean, if he didn't do that, he probably would have won. We'll see with a little more seasoning and a little more time, will he stretch out and run very well for his next start? He's another one. Could be the Jim Dandy, could be the Travers. So kind of those bottom 4, it's like we're going to learn about them pretty quickly here as Saratoga gets going next weekend. And then the Jim Dandy, I believe, is July 30th. There's also the Haskell on July 23rd, and that will kind of tell us a little bit as well, maybe get us a new horse or 2 into this list. But Charge It earned it, a 111 Beyer speed figure. Fantastic for Charge It. That's the highest speed figure of any 3-year-old so far this year. So he jumped up and ran a monster race, won by 22 lengths in that Dwyer. So we'll see. So all of the top or the bottom of 4 there, 7 through 10, are 3-year-olds who could move up this list or maybe could drop out if they don't run very well their next start. It's kind of a wait and see on those. Number 6 is Hot Rod Charlie, and I think you just kind of know what you're going to get out of him. He's been known to lose races that he probably shouldn't, but he also is very consistent, gets up there, hits the board more times than not. So Hot Rod Charlie certainly deserving at number 6 and could move up the list. Here's a new one. Number 5 is American Revolution. You know, this horse ran, I thought, a fantastic race in the Stephen Foster. He ran well enough to win a lot of Stephen Fosters, but he was second, and he was second to Olympiad, who we'll talk about in just a second. But American Revolution bounced back from a very disappointing effort 2 races back to run a very nice second in the Stephen Foster, and I don't know where we'll see him again, but I think he's kind of back, and he's kind of back into the conversation. Number 4, I put Country Grammar at number 4, of course, second in the Saudi Cup, won the Dubai World Cup. I haven't seen him in the United States this year. He is training and rumored to be going to the Pacific Classic. So we'll see, and we can kind of make more of a judgment on him when we see him in the United States. All right, number 3, and I really struggled to keep him at 3. I almost put him 1. I almost put him number 2, but Olympiad falls in at number 3. Right now, I don't see a lot of difference between 1, 2, and 3. I think they're going to be pretty darn competitive. Olympiad gets his 5th win in a row in the Stephen Foster last week. Gosh, good Lord. I mean, a 111 Beyer. They turned for home, and I thought, I bet American Revolution, and I thought, we're going to win this thing. American Revolution looks great. Olympiad had set close to a pretty hot pace. American Revolution had been stalking, and I thought, American Revolution is going to zoom right by. Well, he did zoom by those other pace horses, but Olympiad just kept going. And like I said, earned a 111 Beyer speed figure. I mean, as far as proven form around 2 turns, there's no question Olympiad is number 1 right now in this country, and he is going to be tough to beat. But number 2 on the list is Life is Good. He was outstanding in the John Nerud. I know it was just a 1-turn race. I know most of his strong races have been around one turn, but let's not forget, he absolutely dusted Nick's Go in the Pegasus at 1 1/8. That was 3 races back now, I should say. So listen, life is good. I think he is still a little bit more talented than Olympiad. I still am going to favor Life is Good to win the Whitney over Olympiad, which comes up on the first weekend in August at Saratoga. Let me tell you something. Life is Good versus Olympiad. That is must-see TV. That's going to be out of this world. Let's hope they both make that race and they're in great form. And if you remember last year, we had Nick's Go versus Maxfield in that Whitney, and everybody was kind of excited about that. And that turned out to kind of be a mismatch. Nick's Go just killed him. I don't know. Olympiad's better than Maxfield. I think Life is Good has kind of proven, though, that he's better than Nick's Go. I think it'll be a little more competitive this year. That's going to be great. But Life is Good is back. He did not have a Dubai bounce. The Dubai race did not bother him whatsoever. He was awesome. Poor Speaker's Corner matched up against Flightline, our number 1 horse in the Met Mile, and then in the John Nehru had to face Life is Good and got trounced. And without further ado, number 1 is still Flightline. We'll see. It's at the Pacific Classic is supposed to be next for him if he makes that race. It's kind of all or nothing. We don't know if he can get 1.25 miles. If he does and he goes to Pacific Classic, he looks great and he wins. He's pretty much going to be locked in at that number 1 spot heading into the Breeders' Cup Classic. If he loses, if he doesn't look very good, he's all the way off the list. So it's kind of interesting where he's at right now. We don't know if he can go 2 turns, but we do know if he can, he is the most talented horse in this country, and he'll be awfully, awfully tough to beat. So that's the new top 10. I mean, as you kind of follow along as we were talking, we're not going to have a lot of action in this division the next 2 weeks. We've got a lot of the smaller derbies this week or derbies on turf if it's Belmont Park. So probably not going to see a lot next week as the opening weekend in Saratoga, but there's not a lot for this. But then it gets crazy. Like I said, the Haskell on July 23rd, I should say, is going to be amazing. The Jim Dandy on the 30th, the Whitney the next weekend. So it really heats up. So when you sit here, I don't know, probably August 8th, we'll have a new video out for that week. Who knows what this list will look like. But we're going to be seeing some great races. That much we do know. So, all right, guys, that's it for this one. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the series here as we lead up to the Breeders' Cup Classic. There's nothing quite like summer racing at Saratoga and Del Mar, and that will really kind of start to iron out what the Breeders' Cup picture, not only for the Classic, but all these divisions look like. And we'll kind of drop in here and there with some other divisions as well as we go along. So thanks, everybody, for watching this video. Breeders' Cup, it won't be long, but it'll be here. But let's enjoy some Saratoga and Del Mar first. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next week.